Hello and welcome back to Fortnite in creative mode. And this is my own personal user-created map, the unique map called the Frost Giant of Steel Mountain. And in this part, after hitting the first two of the 5 power switches, which is our main objective, in order to deactivate the Frost Giant's electronic mechanical defenses going towards Steel Mountain, we got 3 more power switches to get. Meanwhile, we're taking cover inside this abandoned house or whatever, where the enemies can't follow us because their pathing does not give them a solution as to how to reach us right now.
Cucumber. No, it's corn. Okay.
Corn.
All right. So, as I noted just before we started, that our and as Cloud just mentioned, our counter is counting down from 5, and personally. Were I building this map, I would actually have it count up from 0 because it's more. I personally find that when you're attempting to interact with objects, specifically when you're attempting to when interacting with objects, rather, it makes more sense to have a positive inflections all throughout as opposed to a negative inflection have. Language is a thing I'm not good at, Mr. Cloud.
It's all right. But I hear you that because we are counting the number of player actions that we've done, from a video game design standpoint, that would be a valid assumption that players are counting not the number of objects they have left to interact with, but the number of interactions they've made with said objects up to this point. We're counting player inputs. What is it? What is a game but a series of player inputs that only have effects based on circumstances and conditions? But I digress. I made the decision to have the counter tick down because we're counting the number of electromagnetic wave inputs or whatever. I mean, dramatically, all you're doing is just flipping a trigger condition in Fortnite logic rules, like Time Splitter's logic rules, where you had to enter a space in order to complete an objective, or you add so many points to a timer every time you kill an enemy. That there are invisible counters happening that just so happen to coincide with the door opening. But dramatically, we are counting the number of supercharged, electronic, power surging wires and stuff that are keeping alive our enemy's defense. And we have to take down our enemy's defense one piece at a time. Brings us closer.
This is our
also
first instance of being on this map. The Frost Giant isn't technically. We're not entirely sure the Frost Giant is our enemy. Maybe when we get up there, he has a party pinata for us.
That would be pretty funny. Like, are you ready to play? 3, 2, 1, race! So you got to race across now. Get in your car. Go fast. Take turns. Whoa! And the finish line. The winner is.
Shield potion, because it actually glitched through the level geometry.
Nah. Yes, you can also get healing items, shield potions. I can't hardly think of items that you cannot get out of the random chests. When they say random, they mean random. Although I only use the random chests because actually assigning specific items to the chests that you find throughout the map is tedious, time-consuming, and I realized that there had to be a lot of them in order to make the game fun and varied enough that no 2 playthroughs would be exactly alike.
Right.
Here's something you may miss. We're at the Frost Giant's big throne, right? Because it's a giant.
Which appears to be a small edifice-type building that I would see from Unreal Tournament 1's Rook Assault map.
Yep, that I had modified this particular structure so you can't enter it from below, and also some of the minor. A lot of these fixtures have a weird assignment as to the amount of memory each of the components takes up.
Okay.
This building, for example, is an assemblage of not just one solid piece, but more probably between 20 and 30 individual pieces. But each of these pieces has a memory assignment. Sometimes the memory assignment is as small as 3 units or 5 units, but sometimes And you can find this out just by hovering over with your editor tool in order to determine what is the marginal benefit of deleting a piece. Yeah, some of these pieces can consume as much as like 80 units or 100 units.
An individual piece?
Yeah, like one piece is worth like 30 pieces as far as your memory constraints are concerned. Because you have to obey the memory constraints. The map will not even let you place a piece if it will cause you to exceed the memory capacity.
Okay.
So you may find yourself using the editor tool and floating around like I do, because you can turn off gravity while you're editing, that you can find these really expensive pieces, get rid of them, and, well, I thought what it did for this map, because this is kind of like a post-apocalyptic type setting, like this island was once inhabited by people and now it's been taken over by zombies, so yeah, a lot of things are broken, they're missing, the things are topsy-turvy, and there's a giant robotic hand sticking out of the sand on the far left of the screen.
This may be the first time I've actually noticed our mini-map. Huh.
The mini-map has its uses because it will tell you what the geographic. It has its pros and cons. A con that I can say is that it doesn't distinguish between objects on different floors. So, for example, all that greenish blue stuff. Yeah, that's the roof. Those are the steel tiles. So you can't really see what the hell is going on over here, which I kind of like. Like it has an element of mystery to it. Yep, still locked. You got to get the rest of the 3 power switches, mister. Here, use this jump pad that I had convenient specifically so that players can just go wherever the hell they want from there.
All right. So which of the buildings do we still need to go clear out in order to deactivate the remaining 3 switches?
Well, we just landed on it. This is Rabbit Tower. More like Turtle Tower, actually. Or maybe it's a duck. You have to enter this building from the top, not from the bottom. There are no doors at the bottom, and you can use either the map spawning feature, because you always spawn from the ceiling, or you could use one of the numerous jump pads that I had placed throughout the map in order to access the top. And then from the top, you go in through the roof. You have to survive a gauntlet of exploding brutes.
Who can open the doors, which is not nice.
Who can open the doors? This is a damage zone. Players who step in the damage zone will take a pre-assigned amount of damage per second.
It looks like it's 5.
And it hurts. It hurts a lot. You best be careful of going through the damage zones. If you stay in the damage zone, you will continue to be damaged. You can also make the damage zone pretty goddamn big, and also really, really small if you want to create, like, little obstacles that you have to jump or maneuver around.
Yay! We incremented the counter. Now, how do we get out?
Yes. Well, you got to, we're not going out through a door. I mean, these guys can just glitch through the walls because fuck this game sometimes. Just keep going. Remember, I tested this. I'm a player. I like fun. I like things that make sense. Here, have another jump pad.
All right. Doesn't that mean that if you fall down the chimney, you can access that switch then?
No, you can't, because it's a drop-off point, and the jump height that you get in this game is not high enough to traverse the height that you need in order to get in there. I'm very glad you asked that. It's a one-way path.
Even from the central jump pad?
You can't use the jump pad because there's a door in between the jump pad and the rest of the fortress proper.
But there doesn't appear to be a ceiling that deactivated whilst we were inside.
Well, you can't really activate or deactivate ceiling fixtures. I'm saying that because there's a wall between the jump pad and the rest of the fortress where you can access the power switch, you can't just use that chimney in order to go in out. It's a one way out. And on the subject of one way outs, there's also one way out through this fortress as well, the wooden fortress. Got to survive the jumping obstacles and even more exploding brutes who deal lots of damage when they explode. Careful they don't get too close.
Can you alter the exploding brutes' properties to have their explosions have their explosion radius be slightly diminished?
You can't affect the... I wish you could affect the exploding radius. That would be pretty cool. Hey, what the fuck? Where did you come from?
From behind you.
God damn it. You can affect the amount of damage that the brute deals, and then the game applies a distance formula so that it applies up to that damage based on how far away you were. And there's the drop-off point. You can't go back the way you came. You can enter this corridor anytime you want, but where we just dropped off from, that is now a point of no return.